Hello everybody, I hope you're all fine. This is Granny's GodPod number 93, what the early Christians said about Daniel. Returning to Bercot's Dictionary of Early Christian Beliefs, on page 187 it describes the 70 weeks prophecy of Daniel 9:24-26. 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there will be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. And after the 62 weeks, Messiah will be cut off. About 195 AD, Clement of Alexandria, page 187-8, writes, Christ became King of the Jews, reigning in Jerusalem in the fulfillment of the 7 weeks. In the 62 weeks, all of Judea was quiet and without walls. In those 62 weeks, as the prophet said, and in the 1 week, he was Lord. The half of the week, Nero held sway. In the holy city Jerusalem, he placed the abomination. And in the half of the week, he was taken away, followed by Otho, Galba, and Vitellius. And Vespasian rose to the supreme power and destroyed Jerusalem and desolated the holy place. It's quite difficult to see how this tallies with either Daniel or the Revelation, especially since it was the Christians that Nero persecuted, and Daniel was told the prophecy concerns his people, the Jews. Daniel says that both the holy city and the holy place are exterminated together with the coming leader, and that the pinnacle is destroyed unto ruin. Therefore, says Tertullian, page 188, we must inquire into the times of the coming of Christ, the leader. We will trace those times in Daniel. Therefore, we demonstrate that Christ came within the 62 1/2 weeks. Tertullian also says, by showing the number of years and the time of the 62 1/2 completed weeks, we have proved that Christ came. That is, he was born at the time predicted. Again, the timeline does not quite explain Daniel's 70 weeks, which is clarified in the Revelation. Hippolytus, page 188, has a better idea of the end time, but also has some mathematical and theological shenanigans. He says, and for 1 week he will make a covenant with many, and it will be that in the midst of the week my sacrifice and oblation will cease. By 1 week, therefore, he meant the last week, that is to be at the end of the whole world. Yes! In that week, the 2 prophets, Enoch and Elijah, according to him, will take up the half. For they preached 1260 days clothed in sackcloth, proclaiming repentance to the people and to all nations. Writing about 5 years later, about 205 AD, he writes, unto Christ the Prince will be 7 weeks, which makes 49 years. It was in the 21st year that Daniel saw these things in Babylon. Hence, the 49 years added to the 21 make up the 70 years of which the blessed Jeremiah spoke. The sanctuary will be desolate 70 years. Now, who is this Christ that he speaks of? Is it not Jesus, that is Joshua the high priest, the son of Josedek, who returned at that time along with the people and offered sacrifice according to the law in the 70th year when the sanctuary was built. In the same work, Hippolytus says, and after 7 weeks there are other 62 weeks. This period embraces the space of 434 years. For, after the return of the people from Babylon, under the leadership of Jesus the son of Josedek, Ezra the scribe, and Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel, of the line of David, there were 434 years until the coming of Christ. Here, as well as seeming to confuse Jesus Christ and Jesus the son of Josedek, the number of years before Messiah was cut off is actually 483, including the 49 years to rebuild Jerusalem after the 70 years exile in Babylon. Justin Martyr, page 188, writing about 160 AD, says, "He whom Daniel foretells would have dominion for a time, times, and an half, is even already at the door. He is about to speak blasphemous and daring things against the Most High." Clement of Alexandria, page 188, notes, Daniel said that there were 2,300 days from the time that the abomination of Nero stood in the holy city until its destruction. For thus the declaration which is added shows how long will be the vision, the sacrifice taken away, the abomination of desolation. Hippolytus, page 188-9, says, "As these things then are in the future, and as the 10 toes of the image in Nebuchadnezzar's dream are equivalent to democracies, and the 10 horns of the fourth beast are distributed over 10 kingdoms, let us look at the subject a little more closely. The golden head of the image and the lioness denoted the Babylonians. The shoulders and arms of silver and the bear represented the Medes and Persians. The belly and thighs of brass and the leopard signified the Greeks, who held the sovereignty from Alexander's time. The legs of iron and the dreadful and terrible beast represented the Romans, who presently hold the sovereignty. The toes of the feet that were part clay and part iron, and the 10 horns were emblems of the kingdoms that are yet to rise. The other little horn that grows up among them meant the Antichrist in their midst. The stone that smites the earth and destroys Nebuchadnezzar's metal man image is Christ bringing judgment on the world. It seems that Jesus needed to give John the revelation to tell us again what was still to happen in the end times. But I'll let Hippolytus, page 189, have one last word. He says Daniel has spoken of 2 abominations. The first is destruction, the other is of desolation. What is the abomination of destruction but that which Antiochus established there at the time? And what is the abomination of desolation but that which will be universal when the Antichrist comes? That's all for now. Hope you enjoyed all those little snippets. I'll see you next time.